Hello friend, Amit is here. The previous video I explained about how the basic program related to REST and how we can handle multiple annotations. So here actually I am going to create one complete mini project kind of thing, and that could be handle different kind of request that can be handled put, post, get or delete request. So actually very simple code based operation we are going to create here. So this CURD, the basic term is there, where C means it's create and U means update and R means read and D means delete. So here actually I'm going to create one simple JSON request response structure where we have a country information, country info, where we can add this country information, and if already is there then we will read all the information, and if we would want to change the value of country ID or country code or country name, then we can use update, or if we want delete some country information, then we can use delete operation. So before of that I just want to again explain about the basic concept of REST. So as well as when the programmatically we will sufficient to understand about thing, so as well as we need to understand about theoretical also. So I explained many time in our previous video also, but I would like to just add this thing like RESTful or RESTful web services means it is a architecture style which is based on web standard and HTTP protocol. So this style was initially described by ROI Fielding in 2000s. So in REST based architecture everything is resource. So like here we are going to utilize a resource, JSON resource or country information. That resource we are going to accept or accessed by a common interface based on HTTP standard method. So means when we are going to use create, update, read, delete, I will add here what exact method we are going to utilize there. So it's all are the based on via a common interface based on HTTP standard method. So in REST based architecture you have a REST server which provide access to the resource. So a REST client can access and modify a REST resource. So every resource should support the HTTP common operation resource or identify that basic goals, which is typically the URL related thing. When I already explained that how the path and all we are using. So according of that what the typically URL is there, the servlet container can identify that URL, and according of that it will forward the request to the particular controller. So controller can be identify that value, and according of that it will be a particular method will active and they can create a response that be desired, that required. So REST allow the resources have a different response like a text, XML, JSON, etc. So many kind of the request we see that consume and produce we already use. So here we have a different kind of that representation style, like maybe the text, maybe the XML, maybe the JSON. Here we are going to utilize a JSON because widely used right now. JSON UI also can understand the JSON and backend services also can understand the JSON. So the REST client can ask for a specific representation via the HTTP protocol and can navigate and can work. So here we have 4 methods, the put, get, post and delete method, and they are typically used in the REST based architecture. So here exactly what get define a reading access of the resource without side effects. The resource is never changed via get request, that is the request has no side effect. So whenever we using a read related information, so just going to read only, it could not affect anything in the server So data never change through the get request. So get request only for read operation. So this kind of, whenever we need this kind of requirement is there, we just have to read the information. We're not going to update, delete or create thing. So we will always use get, and through get request only we can use this thing. The put is create a new resource. It must allow be implementation. So only confusion between that update and create. So we can utilize the same method to update and create also, but as HTTP have some standard. So when we are going to update and when we are going to create, we have to utilize some specific method. If not utilize, it could not affect anything, but for understanding and as a standard defined by the HTTP, we violate. So we must utilize that thing. So we update, always use post, this is recommended, and whenever we will create, we will use put. So delete, that is will be a direct HTTP delete method is there. So we are going to use this 4 method. So CURD, C means create. Whenever we want to create something, we will use a put. U update, when we are going to update some record, we use a post. R read, whenever we are going to read some information, we will use a get. D delete, whenever we want to delete some information, we use a delete. Some other method also there, so right now we are not going to utilize those methods. I again explain about this. Get identifier reading access of the resource without side effects. The resource is never changed via the get request, means the request has no side effect, no impact on the backend. This is just a read kind of thing. It will be read the record and return back as a response. So whenever we have reading kind of thing, whenever we ask server to provide some specific data, maybe filter a specific data, or maybe something like we would like to, in database we have a lot of information related to customer, but we would like to only fetch the data. The customer belong to the city Chennai, or customer belong to city Hyderabad, or whose name start with A. So we just send this thing and we just want specific response. The customer belong to Hyderabad, that name start with A, and server prepare this information and return back to the client. So here it's nothing will, no update, nothing will happen. For the just read we are going to utilize. So put, when we have to create a new resource, it must allow to implement put. So example, one new customer is added and we want to add the information related to the customer, means customer ID, customer name, customer address, where customer belong, what services exactly customer is using, all the information we want to store into the database. And this is a newly added customer, this is a not existing customer. So this request we will send via the put. The next is the delete. So now at some existing customer is there, for example some employee is working on that company and he left the company, and we would want to delete that employee information. So we can utilize that delete. So delete, remove the resources. The operation are independent. They can get repeated without loading the different result. So post, update an existing resource or create a new resource. So this 4 thing, and all 4 are utilized in different scenario. So RESTful web services are based on HTTP method, we know about that, and the concept of REST or RESTful web services define a base URI. The services that support MIME type, means XML, text, JSON and other kind of the media file that we are going to consume and produce. It's also define the set of operation. That operation is we are going to utilize a put, post, get, delete. So that operation which is supported by HTTP standard protocols. So now start that applications. So I would like to just explain about that. Few code I already added here. I don't want to waste much more time here. So now here this application is the Maven based application that I already promised that I will come with the Maven based application. So what is the exact difference between that? Once you create a right click here, if you right click and if you create this new dynamic web project, okay, we can come here the file, and after that file we will create a dynamic web project. So Maven project is here, and previously we will create a dynamic web project. So dynamic web project is here. So before of that, in dynamic web project we are placing all the jar file manually here under the web container content, and inside that web inf and lib. So in lib we are placing all the jar file instead of automatically download by the Maven repository. But here I just created one Maven project, so just create a new Maven project, and after that this so here under the web inf nothing is here. So we see that in src, don't confuse about that. We have a web.xml index each and every file. So one new thing is there, pom.xml. So we need to know about that, what exact purpose of the pom.xml. So pom.xml we have to add first we have to add this project kind of thing. So automatically it will be point where Maven and all thing is available. So after that model version is there. So version means what the bundle will be created, that version we have to specify there. So model version we are going to 4.0.0. after the group ID we identify. So that three only group identifier only we can identify the projects. So here group identify com.visual path we are going to utilize, and artifact ID is there. So artifact ID is the unique ID of this bundle or this project. So whenever we want to update some other project also in this means this place, then must be the artifact ID is different, otherwise that project duplication will become. So after that packaging is there. So packaging we are going to create as a var, we have to specify here, and version support we are using a first snapshot. So like that we modify this functionality, and we would like to keep both the version. So we'll next time when we will create this bundle, we will change this version and we can make this version like 1.2 1.3. So now we are using a first thing, so we are using 0.1 version, that is how by default it will become. So name of that visual path, this thing we have to add. So URL where it will be download. So if we have our repository, we have to add this repository here, otherwise we are going to download through that maven.apache.org file. So now we have to add all the dependency. Like that previously we have this RESTful web services or all. So here we have some dependency, and we manually put this jar file like a Jersey core 1.9.1 and all thing be added here. So now we are going to utilize not 1.9.1, now we are going to utilize 1.18.3. so this is Jersey version. So related to Jersey file, it will be download automatically to this version, and other than that JUnit we are going to utilize for the testing purpose, and JUnit we are using 3.8.1. so we have to specify this thing under the dependency, and all the dependency we have to put here. So this project have one dependency, first dependency JUnit, so it will be download all the dependency related to JUnit jar file from maven.org.com that version is 3.8.1. so all the dependency that we are going to add here, that will be automatically download and placed to ready to utilize. We no need to manually go and download the jar file and put under the library. So this is a one benefit here. And also if you see that if you're going to manually download the file, sometime that version mismatch is there. For example, maybe the JUnit 3.8.1 it will be could not support the Jersey 1.18.3, or maybe the Jersey 1.18.3 have some multiple file like that. Here we see that Jersey client.jar, Jersey common.jar, Jersey container servlet.core, container servlet core, many file is there. So we see here sometime it's a downloaded like a core 1.9 and here 3.13, and we see that some different version is here. So maybe this version common Jersey maybe could not support the Hibernate core. Maybe we are using some latest common that have the annotation, and maybe the core we are using a very old, that time annotation is not come. So here version mismatch will come. But when we specify Jersey version 1.18.3 means all the file related to Jersey will be a must we support 1.20.3. so we no need to manual find that which version of core will support Jersey 1.18 and which version of Guava will support 1.18. it will be take care by the Maven and automatically all related file automatically downloaded. So this thing will be sort out. So now the next thing is there we are going to use a Jersey servlet. That here we have to add $Jersey version, that will automatically this Jersey version will be utilized. So after that property we will write any version we have to specify. We can use Jersey version here, otherwise we can directly put the Jersey version also here. It like a version we can directly specify this thing directly here like 1.18.3. Oh, automatically come, just 1 second. Yeah, so both have the same thing. So benefit is there. So multiple places we are going to utilize like that. Here we also use, here we also use. So for the code duplicacy as well as version mismatch, avoiding this problem, we can utilize this concept. That will be we create here property and we specify the Jersey version, and what the Jersey version we write here, we have to just write under this bracket Jersey version, before of that $, this bracket, under that we will specify Jersey.version, and we can specify that. So the next dependency is there, common login. So common login is internally also utilized to throwing exception kind of thing, or some problem will become, then this logger will be responsible to generate a particular message. So one more very good benefit is here in web services, because they have a inbuilt log platforms. So whenever we are stuck sometime, and whenever our project is not running and internally some error or some exception will come, so that time we will get the appropriate message. The exception will be so that where exactly problem is there, and through that we can identify the problem and we can fix the problem. So here that logger mechanism and providing the point where exactly the problem is coming is a very good they arrange, and that reason they are using internally a common logger also. So here we are going to use common logging as a 1.2.0. we see that previously also we not utilize any logger concept, but we have a logging jar file here, Jersey common jar. So they are just internal utilization here. So after that we have a file name. File name we are going to utilize just CRUD example kind of thing, and we have a plugin, and they are Maven plugin, and that version we have to specify, and that another plugin also that will be going to utilize. So this is the pom.xml. Basically we have to specify the article, means artifact ID, group ID, as well as we have to specify the dependency. So dependency, all the dependency come under the dependencies tag with S, and after that we have to put dependency. So it have a few dependency like that. It have a JUnit dependency, Jersey dependency, Jersey JSON dependency, here Jersey servlet dependency, and we have to specify that particular version also. So version we will make as a global, because we are going to utilize a multiple places. So we have a property, and we have this property, and Jersey version we are going to utilize. The next thing is there, we will use this common logger also to add the dependency. So we are using 1 2 3 4 5 dependency under the dependency tag. So we specify the version here, group ID and all things there. So we'll see the next thing here. So now when we create automatically that Maven project, the web.xml or will become here in src main, and it will become here Java or web app. So web app index.xml is there. So if you remember the previous example, we have just this kind of web.xml thing. So here nothing, we are not adding any much more thing. We just adding HTML body h2 or something, and here body closing and HTML. We just want to show that when we will hit, it will become hello visual path kind of thing. We just want this message. And we have a web.xml also. So here if you see that web.xml have exactly same configuration, that configuration we are using in the previous application as well. So here we have a dependency name. So dependency name is anything, it's not a problem. Main thing is there, we have to register this servlet and servlet mapping. So how we will register the servlet and servlet mapping, that is an important thing. So here we are going to register servlet as a servlet container and their mapping URL pattern. So first we have to mark as a servlet tag, and after that servlet name. So servlet name must be matched with this servlet mapping name. So here servlet name is anything, any string we have to provide. So it's not a matter, but matter is that this servlet name and this servlet mapping must be matched, must be the same. That through that only it will be any request will become, then it will be identify where the request will be forwarded. So here we have to register, after that we have to register servlet class. So servlet class is servlet container, and servlet container is act as a front controller, as a web means a web RS Jersey file. So here any request will become, the first it will be hit to the servlet container. We know that concept about front controller, then it is a very easy to understand about what the exact role of the servlet controller. So servlet container is utilizing here as a front controller, and all request will become here, and the first hit servlet container, and servlet container can handle the request and identify the exactly where that request will be forwarded. So after that we have to init param. So init param we have to specify the thing where our controller class is specified. So for specifying this thing we have to use init param, param name and param value. So inside the param name we have to specify common sun jersey config property dot package, common dot sun dot jersey dot config dot property dot package, and after that we have to specify the param value. That param value must be matched with the controller classes where our controller classes is specified. So whenever we want to write multiple means this controller classes, we have to specify like that. So here we have the controller classes. So com.visualpath.controller, com.visualpath.controller. So our controller is available, country controller.classes. So this servlet controller automatically initialize and instantiated all the classes that is available in org.visualpath.controller, and make ready when the request will become, and they can handle the request. So after that matching URL, it will be forward to particular this thing. So other thing is there. So POM mapping features, POJO mapping feature, we just add to true. This is a just we are going to do it. It's not a mandatory. After if you remove, it will be work. But POJO mapping features like that, we will map with the POJO classes, that we are going to true. And I already explained about that load on a startup. So load on a startup, what they are doing generally behave is that when we will build our application and deploy that server, our application could not be any class, could not be a load. That will be just ready to utilize. When the first request will become, that time that particular class will be initialized, instantiated, means load the class, initialize that class and instantiated the class and load the class on the memory. But in this case, when we are going to write some front controller kind of thing, so for the first application, when the application will be deployed, that time only we can force that our first controller also will be initialized and ready to use. Means when the some request will become, that front controller can handle the request, and that time it could not be instantiated, initialized and load on the memory. It will be ready and it can handle the request immediately. So this kind of the thing will be called as aggressive loading. So we would like to aggressively load the servlet container, and when we want to aggressively load the some classes, we have to specify load on a startup, and here we add load on a startup tag as a 1, and we would like to load the classes on the first when the application is means deploy that time itself. So here servlet, after that we have to add servlet mapping, and here we have to specify servlet name. So servlet name, as I already explained about that, we must match with the Jersey servlet. And here we have a URL pattern. That URL pattern after the application name, after that like HTTP localhost, we are going to run localhost. Localhost here means IP address and 8080, as well as after that application name. So here application name is JAX RS JSON CRUD example. So after that, what the request we would want to handle, so here it will be come on to the, whenever we send after that REST or after that anything ABC, EFG, anything, it could be a hit here in URL pattern. So we must need up to that. So after that we have a star, means we can send any request after that, it must be this URL pattern is come. So it will be hit this URL pattern. So after that servlet name it could find. So internally it will be find if some request is come after that, then we have a star mapping thing here. So it will be find servlet name here, and this servlet name it will be a find out any servlet mapping here with this exact servlet name. If they found, then that will be a forward this request to that particular classes. If that class is not load that time, then that will be a load the class on the memory, instantiated, initialize, and after that can be handle the request. But because we already added load on a startup tag, so this thing is already happened there. The class is already load on the memory, already initialized, already instantiated. So this thing, that request directly handled by servlet container. So servlet container up to that, it will be will find out after that, like the after that we will send hello or find name something. So when we send find name, so before of that just servlet container make as a delete, and it will make like a find name only. So after that servlet container is find any classes that is available under this com.sun.jersey.config property package. What the value we register? We register org.visualpath.controller, and this classes, if this package, if any classes that have path @path equal to find name. If they have any path like a find name, then that request will be forwarded to particular classes. So according of that it is working. So if you understand about that web.xml part, then you can easily understand the functionality of web application. The next we will come here in the controller classes. Before of that we will just show you that bin. So here we are going to do the operation on the particular bin. So bin, this is just a Pojo classes. So inside that country we have one country. So country ID is there, country name is there, and population is there. So we just going to store this information in the database. We going to store, we can going to add new country, we can going to get all the country information, we can update the country, and we can delete the country information. So country information have three things here: ID, country name, and population. So when we are going to do it, we have to add one constructor. So country constructor we are going to create. Just 1 second, it's hanging. Or we can create, we have to write country, or we can create like that also. So we have to go here, source, and generate constructor using a field. So all the field we would like to generate, and constructor must be the public. So we have to specify access modifier here. So if you want like ID only or country, so we have to select like that. So we want select all, and after that access modifier we want to public. So you can specify protected, public, private, as it is, as you want. So it's automatically generated constructor here. So we have this constructor, and we would like to create one default constructor also, because sometime it will be we need to create a dummy object, and after that setter getter we would like to initialize. So we know that if we will not create any constructor, then JVM will automatically create and place one default constructor. But whenever we creating some default constructor, JVM will not going to create a by default constructor. So when we required both the thing like a parameterized constructor as well as default constructor, you have to write a manually. And here either you can call the super or not, it's not a matter. Here also if we write at the first super or not, it will be automatically that JVM will be utilized. So first, after this country, first is the super, and after that like that any constructor here must be the super first thing is there. Like that if we going to write this dot ID here, and we are going to write this super here, I just show you that. So it will not create a problem, but when we specify this thing in before of that super, then it will be create a problem, because first statement must be the super. Constructor call must be the first statement is a constructor. It's why it is happening, because if that have some dependency like that, even it's not have any implementation of here any other class implementation, it's not extending any other class. By default object is a super type of every classes. So before loading this classes, we have to check that any dependency is there, any super class is there, and we have to load that super classes. Maybe some dependency or something is there, and when we use something like this .id, maybe that dependency will be changed. We could not initialize, instantiate it and load that super classes on the memory. So that time it will be create a problem. So for that, if we have some parent kind of thing, we must have the call super first, and after that only we can do the any operation. If we are writing a super here, it could be it is a good. If we not write a super also, it's also good, because if we not write a super, JVM will automatically put one super here. But if we writing a super and we are not writing the first line itself, then it could be a create a problem, and there the container will be a specify that super must be the first line. So either we have to put super as the first, either we can just delete it. No need to worry about this thing. So now we have a 3 field: ID, country name, population, and we have a country, and country we have a 3 field. This dot ID equal to ID, this dot country name is equal to country name, this dot population is equal to population. So here what the local variable is there, this pointing is a local variable. This dot ID means this variable, and this ID means what the parameter we are going to send here. So here once we call country, as will pass some value, that time it this class will be initialized with the particular value. For example, if we send ID equal to 1, then this dot ID means this ID will become equal to 1, like that. When we send the country name equal to India, then it will become like country name equal to India. And when we will send that population of the India is equal to something like 1 crore, we will set like that 1 crore. So when we will pass this value here, it is automatically initialize that value what the local variable is there. So through that we are using this, and we don't want to initialize that value, we just want to create this country object, and after that we could initialize, then we can utilize this parameterized construct default constructor. So now, so I will add getter setter also, because we are going to utilize this getter setter. So getter setter also, it's a very easy. We have to go here, source, and we have a generate getter and setter. You can write, we can write a getter setter manually also, but this is a easiest and faster way to generate a getter and setter. So again we have to select what the getter setter we want, and public, protected, package, private, final, synchronized we have to select, and it will be create. So now we have the country have a 2 constructor, one with parameter. They are taking a 3 parameter: ID, country name and population, and that thing will be initialized with the local variable through the this dot ID equal to ID means ID will be initialized. This dot country name means country name will be initialized. This dot population means population will initialize. After that we have one default constructor. So whenever we want to create an object, and after that through setter and getter we can initialize it, we can utilize that initialization by setter and getter. So we have this default constructor also, and each and every method have a setter and getter. For ID we have a get ID, set ID. For country we have a get country, set country. For population we have a get population, set population. So now our model class or Pojo class is ready. So here we have a country have a 3 parameters, 3 value. So that country can int ID, a string country name, long as a populations. After that we have a parameterized constructor. That constructor can get 3 things: ID, country name and population, and after that we are going to initialize through that this. After that we have a default constructor. Default constructor not have anything, so it will be just create a dummy value of country, and after that we can utilize a getter and setter to utilize. So we have all the getter setter, get ID and returning ID, set ID. What the ID is going, we are going to this dot ID. So we are going to like a set ID. So here we are, what the country we are using, this dot ID equal to ID. So set ID we are going to utilize the same thing, this dot ID equal to set ID. But here we will set all the three field. Here we are just setting a ID only. This object is created and this have country name and population have default value, but ID we are going to set something. So we can do this operation is like that. The next thing is that we are have visual, because this getter setter is not there, so we will save once it problem will call. We'll see that. So now no error. So now we will see that how the controller classes be added. So this controller classes, first we have to specify this package must under that web.xml. So all the controller classes package must be specified under the init param, where the init param name can be specified com.sun.jersey.config property package, and here after that we have to specify the package of the controller where controller is running. So our controller is org.visualpath.controller, that is here. So through that it will be instantiated and initialize all the controller classes automatically when the servlet container will be decided to load the class, and when the servlet container is think that this particular controller can active. So here in this class we can write multiple classes also, but now we are going to use single controller classes to handle multiple requests. So now the first thing we have to add as a path. So after that rest we are sending the request as a countries. So path, after that countries we are going to send. So rest localhost we are sending the request as a countries. So here we have a country controller and we are just creating this country service. We have the one service classes. So we just create a country service here. Instance of creating a service classes here, we can utilize one IMPL interface and that IMPL classes also. And if you want, we can create a factory method also here. So according of that, this services we can gather like a DO or a factory method, and through the implementation structure also. I will explain this thing when I will use some project kind of thing. But here I just want to show you that how we can handle a multiple request for get put post kind of thing. We can handle that request. So here no need to do anything, very simply we just create a service classes and all the service thing we place under the service. So first method, that is a get country, that will be return list of the country, and here they can produce application JSON. So we are going to utilize all thing as a application JSON, means we are doing the operation on the JSON itself. So we can send the request, we can delete the request, and what the request response we are getting, it will be on JSON format. So first method is the get country. So we will do list of the country service dot get all country. So we are going to means just returning that list of country, and here we have to produce. So even we can return that particular list of object, but we are going to produce media type is equal to application JSON. So internally web service, it will be convert that object to the JSON format. We'll see that how it is converting. Before of that, we are writing a lot of code to converting JSON object, JSON array. We are using a JAXN, we are using a Google related thing, JSON to converting a object to the JSON. But here we no need to do all the thing. Here we just have to specify what the produce is there, and media types is automatically Java object will be converted by that particular particular media type. Here it will be list of all the countries. Here what we are going to do, the same method is there, but get path we are passing some ID. So when we will send path, after that ID 1, so we will get the particular 1. Means the country who ID is 1, but here we are going to get all the country which available in our database. So to get is there, this method is responsible to return list of all country that is available in our application. This method have a filter, and through that ID we can get the information of country. So here we are going to return only one country with a specific ID. Here what we will do, we will use a path param. So after that path, what the thing is come, so path param @path param, and we can use ID because it is coming as ID, and we will use int ID. So that value that will be passed into the path param, like that country /1 something. So that ID will be a store, 1 will be a store int ID 1. So after that we are returning country service dot get country, and we are passing ID here. So we'll pass ID, and that get country will be filter the ID related to 1. We'll see that how the service method is acting and how service method is working. After that we have a post, and again here produce is the media type is equal to JSON. So all the produce is we are using a media type dot application JSON. So no need to worry about that. We are working only the JSON right now. So here what we are doing, public country add country, and we are going to add the country. So country, what the country will become, we are going to add. So again we have a country service dot add country. So post we are going to add, put we are going to update. So here country, update country, and country, and here country service dot update country will pass that country, and through that put we are going to update this one. So now the third last thing is there, delete. So again it will become like a path param. So we will use @path param, and we will pass this ID here, ID, and after that we will write int ID. Here we can this just like a int ID or anything, int country ID. This could be anything, name, like a CID, country ID. So we have to specify this thing here also, CID. So this, and this must match with this parameter. So this path will be matched. So if we write something else here and we are writing something else here, then it could, that information will not store here. So media type is there, and it will be returning thing. So I will see that how this delete country, update country, add country, and get country, and list get all country will working. So we have a service method here. So we already instantiated that country service, and through that we are using it. So we see that how this method is working. So this is just a normal thing. So here we are just created hash map, that is a integer, and country list, and we are get country map type. So country service is there. So when public country service is means it will be created, that time if map country equal to null, then we can create this 4 1 2 3 4 country, and we can put under the country map 1 2 3 4 this country map. Country map have integer and country, and if it is not null already there, then we could not do anything. So now we have a public list, get all country. So list of country, new array list country. So country map here, this country map, through we are getting all the value and we are returning this country. So just we have a map, and through that map we are returning a country. So now country, get country, when the ID will become country map dot get ID. So for example we are sending a 1, so we have a country map dot this 1 2 3 4. So when we want to get 1, so we will get India country. So India country have new country 1 India this thing. So like that through ID we can return the particular country. So now we have a country dot add country. So here we will set country dot set ID, country ID dot size. What is size is there, we can initialize 1 2 like that. So here if we send some ID, it could not be utilized. So we will find out how much size is there, and automatically we will create like that. We will send that want to add some new country. So automatically 4 is there, then it will be a ID will be a 5, and it could be store on the database. So now here put is, so country map dot put country dot get ID and country, and it's return the country. So this is very simple. We just have a map related thing. Map have country and identification as the ID. So what ID we are adding here, we can utilize that ID itself here. So next time when we want to filter or something, it's very easy to find out because of that utilizing. So now we have update country. So we will see that country dot get ID. If something is less than 0, what country, which country is wrong, then we could not do anything, just return null. And if it is not like that, then we will use country dot get ID and country and return the country. So update country we will do, and delete country we just remove that file. So country dot remove that particular ID, and we have that hash map public static this one, and we are returning a country map. This is a very simple. We just run that. Now I will explain each and everything. We'll run that and we'll see that how this functionality is working. For running, we are going to run in the Tomcat. Run on server. Okay, that value will change, no problem. So now I have added that Tomcat version 7.0. So I'm going to run on this itself. It could be take some time. So now we have a 2 application. We remove all. We are just going to run this one. Just finish. Now we'll see that if Tomcat is started successfully, then our application ready to work. So now Tomcat server is started. So one more thing, when we are working on REST related application, we must have some REST client kind of thing. Through that we can send the request. So many thing is there, like a SOAP UI is there, SOAP SOAP UI. This SOAP UI. So through that we can send the request, like we want to send get, push, put, post, delete with header, with body. We can utilize this SOAP UI also. And REST client is there. REST client for Chrome is there. Through that also we can send the request, REST client. And Mozilla have also REST some. Mozilla REST client is called, some different name is there. So this is also REST client. So now we are going to utilize this advanced REST client. So if you using a Chrome, just launch that Chrome. After that just search advanced REST client in Google itself, like that, REST client Chrome, and when you will search, you will get the first link like a chrome.google.com detail and this thing. So you have to just click here. So advanced REST client you will hear. So once this window will become, you just click launch app. So once you click the launch app, you will see that you have this app kind of thing is here. So you have to click this app and you will get all the app that you are going to utilize as a Chrome. So we have a ARC, advanced REST client. So you have to click ARC. So now it will become like that. So here you have to specify this thing. So now I already utilizing this JAX RS code operation. So we have the list of this country, and here we can change that method type. Like all the method we can use a post, put, delete, patch, hit, connect, option, trace, what the exact method we are going to send. So now we have to add here a URL. So now we are going to send HTTP localhost JAX RS JSON card operation example, and rest country we are going to send. So this is the same. And if you want to use some post put method, like so we have to change this like a post. So here you have to add body. So body you have to add here. So format of JSON, body JSON row you have to add here. So now we first thing is that we are going to send as a get. So get, no need to body header kind of thing. This is just a get. We will send this request here. We will see that what exactly. So hello visual path is coming. So our application is ready to work. We just see where is our console, general console. So we will put this console here and we'll clear this console. Through that, if something will error or something will come, we can see there. So we are sending this request and we see that we are getting this information. So we have a 4 country, that ID 1 India, population is something, Bhutan, that population is something, Nepal, population is something, China, its population is something. That ID is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So this first get request is working very fine, and we not have any logger, any kind of thing. That's the reason we are not get anything here. And we see that we added only 4 things here in our classes. Under the service method, India, China, Nepal and Bhutan, that only we are getting here. India, Bhutan, Nepal and China. So now the second implementation be added, we send that country ID and we will get the particular ID itself. Now we are going to send 4 and we have assume that we are getting China. So we will send the 4 and now we are getting a China. Correct. The second request we want to send as a create. So create, what we are using, just want to create a new country. So here add country, we are using a post, and put we are using update country. So we'll use post to add some new country. So this same request we can utilize. We just change that name. Here the body we have to specify this thing, and we are using a format JSON itself. Here we have to specify. If not specify, it will be create a problem. Like a JSON XML we have to specify, or application JSON. This application JSON we have to specify. So now we are going to add a 5th ID, like we are going to add Japan. We'll see that this is working or not. So we are sending a post call with the same URL, and body we are sending ID 5, country name Japan and population something like a 20,000. We will make one more 0, 2 lakhs and more 20 lakhs. Now we see that this is added or not. We don't have any information here. So we will send that 5th is a Japan, ID 5th is a Japan, and we will send that post get call. I will see that no content. So maybe it's not added, some problem is there. We'll find all the list. 2 3 4, no, Japan is not added, so some problem is there for adding in Japan. Okay, modify is working or not, we'll see that what the problem is adding this thing. So modify, we'll see that it's working or not. So modify, we will put and after that body. So we want to modify China. Or we want to modify the population of India itself. So now population is 10,000. We want to make one crore. We want to add as a 1 crore. Correct. So here JSON put call raw body send. So it's okay, call is okay. We will see that country /1. Before is that 10,000, now we are adding a 1 crore population. We'll see that what happened. So now population is 1 crore itself. We'll see all the country and we'll check there. So now we have only one country. Oh no, this is wrong. We are sending get call. Yeah, so India population is now updated 1 crore only. Create is not working, update is not working. Put call country, we have to add body, and India we have to add Japan. ID is 6. Now it's time 6 ID. This ID could not work automatically. ID will be take, that will find out the highest number and it got to be add. The country ID is there, correct session. We'll see that it's successfully working, but we are not able to see, correct. So we'll send the get call and we'll see that. Yeah, so now we have a Japan here. So now we want to delete this Japan. So Japan ID is 6, just want to delete. We'll send 6 here like that and we'll make a method as a delete. No content. What ID is there? Okay, we'll see that it's working or not. Get 6. So we are not getting, correct. So now I will send. So Japan is not there and it is working. So now no Japan is there. So we want to delete China also. Sorry. I want to delete China also. So China ID is 4. Correct, 4, and we have to delete this one 4. So China ID is 4. We want to select. So no content. We just want to get all the information. All the country list we want to get. So now expected China is not there. So now China is not there. So here we can utilize get. All the method is there and we have to specify URL is there, and if we want to add some body, so body must be added in the other method only, that delete means like get not have a body. So when you use post put, that time only you can utilize a body. Header you can also specify, inside that header like @header param you are going to utilize. You can add header here, and main thing is there when we use a post or something, post, and we will use a body, you must specify the body content type. So like that, if we add here like that, like we are adding a XML and we want to send this request, like ID equal to 1, country name is equal to India, population is here. So XML is here, and here post, we want to send this post. Now we are sending a XML request, but we have a JSON specification there. So we will get that unsupported media type because we are handling XML. So where exactly this media type unsupported will come? So this unsupported media type will come here, produce XML JSON, add that but and consume this thing. So we are handling the JSON related information, but be sending as a XML. So it could not be supported. So media support, this type of exception come. So exactly what you are going to send, you have to select this one. So body, we are going to send this one, we will select this one, and then only it will be work. So now it is a 200. Okay. So this is a very easy. You can use RERC, Advanced REST Client, here in the Google Chrome itself. Once you add, it will work very fine. Just go through that example. This is a very easy example to handle this kind of request. They have a very small code. So we have this country have a 3 int field, ID, country name, and population. They have parameterized constructor, they have a default constructor, getter, setter. After that, country controller is there. Country controller start with the path country, and after that we have initialization of service here. So country service have that services, so that could be handle the request, and add, delete, search that particular ID, and list of all country can return here. After that we have a 5 method, one method that is returning all the country, the other get method that is returning a country with the ID, the other method that is a post that is adding a country, and other method put that is updating the country, and we have a delete that is deleting a country. Here we are getting as a ID, means after country slash what the ID will send, that could be a delete. So after that we have a service. So you must specify this package under to web.xml here org.visualpath.controller, otherwise it not work. So next we have country service. So country service have this constructor, and in this side constructor is on memory this 4 country will be created, means when we will send the first request we have a 4 country. After that we will get all the country, here all the list we will return. Here we will return the only what the ID we are finding. We will find that ID under this particular map and return back that object. After that we have to add country, we will add on the map. After update country, we will update on the map. After the delete country, we will remove that country on the map, and after that we will run this thing under the ARC. If you don't have a ARC, you just go to the Google Chrome and you just search ARC REST client or REST client. It will come here, this chrome.google.com details, and this thing will become. You just click here, and after clicking you will get like this type of window, and here this launch app is there or add app is there. Already I have, so I have to launch app. Maybe if you not have, then you have to add or download thing is there. You just click that, so automatically it will added. Once added, this kind of app will become here. So you have to click on the app. All the app is registered here, so you have to click ARC, and after that ARC you will get like that. So all the requests that you're going to send, it will become here, and here you have to specify the method type. So what exact method you have to send, you have to specify. Here you have to specify the URL. If you are sending other than get, then you can specify header, body also here. So you have to specify body here, and what exactly consume, produce kind of thing is there, that body content you have to register and you have to send. Once you will send, you will get the result like that 200. Okay, this is a HTTP method code, and you get the information related to particular thing. So just go through that, just go walk through that code and try to create this project. This is a Maven project, so no dependency, nothing is there. In the pom.xml you have to add this dependency, and you can work it. So just go through that and try to understand. Thanks for watching this video. I will come with that SOAP and mini project of related to both SOAP and REST. Till now, thanks for watching this video.